Daryl here. The channel is Programming in Any Language. The supporting website is programminginanylanguage.com or black-duck.com. They both take the same place. And that's a place where you'll find the videos and PDFs of the code. The video is the Anything Database version 4 part 6, editing a record. Editing a record means giving the user the chance to make changes to an existing record. That means the user has to navigate to it. Once the record is displayed, the user presses Edit and the fields open up for change. Not only that, but the user becomes a decision maker. The user can make changes to any field, but can only update the record or cancel the change. Update is where the real processing takes place. What you'll see in the video is when update is used, the original record is actually deleted from the file. A brand new record using an instance of our class is inserted into the old record's position. To the user, it appears the record had changed. In actuality, the old record was removed and replaced by an entirely new record. Let's take a look. Whenever I work with any kind of database type project, I like to have the save and the load features done as quickly as possible, because the rest of the programming that you need to do a lot of testing with live data or actual data in there. And having to recreate the data constantly is kind of a pain. So having it there so I can do a quick load and bring in yesterday's data or whatever I worked on a week ago helps a lot. So that's all taken care of. We're all set to go forward with all the other things that need to be done in this database. So we're looking at taking a record and editing it. So the Anything Database version 4 part 6 is editing a record. That's what we're going to do now. The editing is complex in the sense that it needs to be somewhat like the add, except maybe a little bit more so than the add, because there are different decisions the user is going to actually make. You can see we're going to be moving our selected record to a text block. We're going to flip our buttons. Then we have the update and cancel procedures that are going to be taken into place too. Now remember, these are the same update and cancel we use in the add button. So can we use them just as is, or do we have to make some modification? We'll have to check on that. Let's do a closer look. We'll zoom in on this a little bit and look at the actual edit. So we're going to move a record to the text box. In other words, if we see something there, we want to edit it. We want that thing frozen so we can get at it. We're going to flip the button so the user cannot do anything else other than edit or then cancel or update once he gets into the process. So cancel and update are going to be down here, and they're going to be able to go ahead and update, replacing the record that's there, setting our focus in, and flipping the buttons. How we can do all this? Well, that's the coding that's going to take place to show us how to do that. If we do a cancel, we're just stopping where we were, and we're going to set the focus back to text box and flip our buttons and be like we didn't do anything. We hit the edit button and said, nah, cancel, just get out, just keep on going, we can navigate and go on from there. So that's essentially what it is. If we look at our form, we have a bunch of things to do here. We're going to be using our label message, of course, because we're going to be telling the user that we saved data or whatever else. Our number of records is going to be staying constant here because we won't be changing anything. We're actually going to replace the record that's there. So if we have 10 records in our database and we're going to edit the third one, we're not going to get rid of it. We're going to edit it and replace it. So it's going to still be there. We'll still have the same number there. Getting rid of it is well, you'll see what's happening when we actually do the update on this kind of thing. Our text, last name, middle initial, first name, they're all going to be used. Address line 1 and 2 are going to be there. City, state, and zip are going to be there. Our edit buttons there, and behind this are the button update and button cancel are going to be there as well. So they will exist as we go into this thing. So let's take a look and see how this is all done. The first thing we're going to do is put this button behind. So we've got our edit button showing here. And we can actually bring it out and take a look at it. So we're going to double click on this. That creates our edit. What's our edit going to do? Well, if we looked at our hierarchy chart, what we want to do is basically set it up so we can actually do something with that data. So that's going to require an if statement. So here's what we're going to do. If the record pointer is greater than or equal to 0, in other words, we actually have a record in there, we're going to turn editing to true. We're going to enable our text boxes, and we're going to flip our buttons. That's all we need to do. So basically, we're going to set a Boolean to tell us that we are actually in the editing mode. We're going to enable text box, and we're going to flip the buttons. Otherwise, we're going to say no records are visible to edit and cancel out, and we're done. We're out of there. So that's the thing we're going to do. So that's it. This opens the data up for the user. What does that mean? It means that we're actually going to give the user the choice now of being able to cancel what he's doing or updating what he's doing, which means we have to work with the cancel and the update code that's already there and make changes to handle the editing. So let's take a look at that. We'll send our edit button to the back. So now let's look at that cancel button and see what that looks like. We'll jump to it, and there it is. We want to flip the buttons, enable text box, and clear the text boxes. That's certainly what we want to do. But we also want to display our record count because we might have made a change here. So we're going to pop that in. We're going to leave our Boolean adding is going to stay false, but we're going to add the Boolean editing is going to go false because we're going to turn that on when we actually get in there. In fact, if we look back at our Boolean editing, we set the true here in our when we actually went in. So we want to certainly turn that thing off. And then we want to put the user message in there. Label message is operations canceled for our label message. So that's all we need to do. That takes care of our cancel routine. Will that work? It should up to this point. Let's give this a try. Here's our data. We can use our load to bring something in. We've got our file there. Let's go forward. Let's try to edit Bugs Bunny. We'll hit the edit button, and that works beautifully. It opens up our text box. It gets it all ready for us. Update and cancel are the only thing showing. It's all we can do. We should be able to navigate. Oh, we can. We can navigate. We probably want to make a change to that so we can turn off the navigation. But we're going to be setting in here. We can update now, or we can cancel. That means we can make a change to it. We can say this is Daffy M. Let's say Mr. Daffy. Oh, it's got all those blanks in there. Now it's more complete. And now I can do a save, if I update if I want, but I can't because I didn't program this yet, but I can do my cancel, and it gets us back to where we were. Operation canceled. Go back to our record 0. We're sitting right there. So that part works. All we have to do now is the update portion on this thing. So how do we do that? Right now, the update is fairly straightforward. It's only set up for editing. We need to change this now where we're actually doing this for editing or, adding or editing and go from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some changes to this guy. This is going to be a little bit more extreme. So we want to do something like this. We want to say if BLN adding and then set up some braces. And we want to put in everything we're going to be doing for adding, and that's this stuff right here. So we're going to grab this and pop it into here. So if we're adding, we're going to do everything we did before. That's perfectly fine. We're going to read data entry, update our record count, display the record count, flip our buttons, enable text boxes, clear text boxes, Boolean adding is equal to false, and then we're going to put our label message, record successfully added. But we're going to have an else in here. Else if BLN editing. Put our braces in. And this will require all our editing stuff is going to go in there. And I'm going to add one more thing to this. I'm going to say else. And that's going to be basically message box shouldn't be here. Only adding or editing should happen. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I probably don't need this, but it kind of gives me some security in my brain that, okay, if I screw up the adding and the editing, we end up dropping into here, I want to know it. So this is going to tell me that, oh, we screwed up our program. So this is something we should never see this code actually execute. So all we need to do now is work on the editing piece to this thing. So what do we want to do? We want to insert record to list record. So we're going to be doing something like this. That's going to be a brand new method we actually have to create. Insert record in the list box. And I'll tell you why when we get to that little piece. We're going to display our record count, much like we did up for the ad. Flip our buttons, enable text boxes, make editing false. We did adding false here. Label record successfully change and clear text boxes. So everything's going to be sitting there. We're clearing our text boxes, all that's there. All we need to do is create this insert record to list record. That's the little piece we need to actually create here. So how do we do that? That's going to require a method. So we're going to do that right down in here. Here's our new person instance we're going to be creating. We're going to do our formatting, which we did before, to bring everything in place here. And then we're going to basically add it. Now, how do we do that? Well, that requires a trick. And that trick is, which we've done in the structure section, we remove the record that we're actually editing, completely get rid of it, and then insert the new person record into that spot, replacing it. So while we actually are supposedly editing or changing a record, we're actually deleting one and adding back another one. That's how it works when we're working with lists. We want to remove the one that's there and replace with a new one. But that's all we need to do. We're going to remove at the record pointer, wherever we're pointing at right now, and then we're going to insert at the same pointer the new person piece. The one's right here. And that takes care of it and fills it up for us, and we're all set to go. That's all we need to do. I'm going to do one further thing when I'm actually doing that thing. When I go into editing, I'm going to turn off navigation. I'm going to jump right in here, and I'm going to say P&L navigation dot visible is equal to false. That's going to turn off navigation. I'm going to go to my cancel routine and look at it. It has a display record count here, so this is going to actually turn on navigation, so I don't have to worry about it there. I'm going to look at my update piece, and it also has display record count, so it's going to turn on navigation. So I don't have to worry about it. All I need to do was turn it off so we couldn't do anything there. So this should be all I need to do. So I'm going to do a file save on this. I'm going to start. We have nothing out there, so we're going to load our data. We'll go to that second record again. Bugs Beatbots. Let's go to. So we got that one here. Let's go to Elmer B. Fudd. Yeah, let's do him. And let's edit this guy. If I go in there and say now I don't want to do anything, I can cancel, and everything's just the same. Notice what I did here? I'm going to go forward. We'll do an edit. Notice navigation's gone. But when I cancel it, it comes back. So that's just fine. So now we're going to go to that. This is our first record. Our first record is Daffy Duck. We got Elmer Fudd here. Let's edit Elmer. Go out there and edit him. Elmer B. Fudd. We have his middle initials wrong. It's really an F. Okay. And it's really apartment A, not 1. So we're going to go in here and say A. And then we're going to say update. Record successfully changed. Has it been? Let's take a look. We'll go in there and take a look. Go forward on it. Elmer F. Underline apartment A, Forest Grove. We're all set. So it's looking good. Looks like Elmer just worked fine. We can save this data. That completely brings the data out there, removes the old one, get out completely. Go ahead and open it and do our load and do our navigation to our Elmer Fudd. And there he is, F Fudd, apartment A, Forest Grove. It's all sitting there nice. So edit works. It's done. Wasn't that bad at all, but it did require us to create something separate in our update routine to tell us to differentiate between add and update. And that's where the Boolean came in very, very handy. We could tell if we were doing an add or an edit, go from there. That's it. That's what editing is in a nutshell. Well, edit is done. I should remind you that if you have problems with this, it is always a good idea to bring out the debugger. It's a great tool for tracking how your code flows. Next, we'll look at deleting a record. That'll be easy. Thanks for watching. Please visit the website when you get a chance and subscribe to the channel. There's new stuff coming every week. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.